In this video, we are going to continue looking at transport in animals. Transport in animals is very important in the following ways. Transport in animals helps to transport digested nutrients or broken down foods or the end product of digestion from the intestines to the tissue cells. I take a break. The villi act as a channel through which nutrients can be absorbed into the blood. The blood then brings these nutrients to the rest of the body tissue cells. So transport in animals helps to transport oxygen, carbon dioxide, and glucose. So the exchange of these three materials, or the exchange of these materials, takes place in the tissue fluid. Okay, in the tissue fluid, and within the tissue fluid, we are going to find a good network of capillaries. So capillaries are very thin to allow the diffusion of these materials. So transport in animals is very important in the transportation of end product of digestion. So the one of the end product of digestion has been illustrated in the diagram. So we can see glucose. Glucose is being transported from the blood vessel, which is a capillary, from the blood vessel, which is a capillary, to the tissue cells. To the tissue cells, as we can see here. So it is being transported from the blood vessel to the tissue cells so that it can be utilized. So in the tissue cells, that is where we are going to find mitochondria. So mitochondria is considered to be a powerhouse where respiration takes place. So for respiration to take place, there is need for glucose. There is need for glucose. So we have seen that transport in animals, or the transport system, is important in the transportation of uh, oxygen. The same transport helps to transport carbon dioxide. Also helps to transport carbon dioxide. As we can see, it is helping to transport carbon dioxide from the tissue cells to the tissue cells to the blood vessel, so that carbon dioxide can be filtered out. The transport system also helps to transport oxygen from the blood vessel to the tissue cells. Like I said, for respiration to take place, for aerobic respiration to take place in the tissue cells, there is need for oxygen so that energy can be produced. So for oxygen to move from the blood vessel, there is need for a transport system. Okay, so to appreciate the importance of what we have learned, we are going to answer these two questions. So this one is coming from 2013, paper 1, and the question is question 12. The question reads, the diagram below represents a blood capillary in the leg with the adjacent cells. Arrows represent movement of substances between blood and cells. Okay. Which arrows represent glucose, carbon dioxide, and oxygen? So according to the cells we are given here, so we have seen that Two arrows are taking. This one is taking glucose to tissue cells. This one is taking carbon dioxide from the capillaries to tissue cells. And this one is taking carbon dioxide away from tissue cells to the blood vessel. So therefore, we have seen that these substances, they are looking like red blood cells. And the function of red blood cells is to transport oxygen and the small amount of carbon dioxide. So therefore, since this one is a capillary and the arrow is pointing to tissue cells, so oxygen is being transported from the blood vessel to the tissue cells. Then carbon dioxide is being removed from the tissue cells to the blood vessel so that carbon dioxide can be eliminated in the lungs. Then here, this one is showing the movement of glucose from blood vessel, which is a capillary in this case, to the tissue cells. So therefore, our correct answer is carbon dioxide 1. Carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide 1. Oxygen 2. Oxygen 2. Glucose 3. Our correct answer is A. Our correct answer is A. Let us also answer this question, which is coming from 2022 paper 1. And the question is question 17. Question 17, the question reads, the diagram shows some blood cells and a nearby capillary. Fluid filtered out of the capillary, blood flow, tissue fluid enters capillary. The question continues. Which substances must pass in the direction of the arrow X for the cells to respire aerobically? A. Carbon dioxide and water. B. Glucose and oxygen. C. Oxygen, salts and glucose. D. Water and salts. Okay, so we have seen that these two arrows are directing to tissue cells. They are taking something to tissue cells, and the substances that have been transported to the tissue cells is glucose and oxygen. So therefore, these two X's are representing glucose and oxygen. Our correct answer is B. Our correct answer is B. Therefore, in this video, we are going to end here.